Hey guys, good morning. Well, I shouldn't say good morning. You guys have no clue what time it is. I'm just used to saying good morning. But anyway, here it's morning time, and we are in Korea. And this is technically our last day on the ship because tomorrow we disembark. But yeah, we just wanted to, give you guys a brief, rundown about the things we liked about the ship and where the ports, whatever. First, I want to say Japan is beautiful. It's really one of a kind place as far as I'm concerned. The people are just so nice and so helpful. They go beyond being helpful. Really, I mean, they really, really, really help you with things. So we had a great time. We had great food over there. Saw some great things. As far as the ship goes, real quick, the ship is nice, small. We didn't feel much as far as rough waters, movements, hardly anything at all. So that's a plus. But the downside is the hot tubs broken since the first day they worked. We normally wait a couple days into the trip before we decide to get in the hot tubs, but the hot tubs are shut off because they're saying there was some pump issue, which is fine. You don't want to get in a hot tub that's contaminated. So that was kind of a bummer. But the worst thing, even worse than that, is as far as the TV selection goes, as channels. Let's just say there's 20 channels. 16 of those channels are devoted to Norwegian stuff, advertisements, whatever. 4 channels are movie channels. The same movies on a loop over and over and over again. That was the worst thing. The worst thing.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But overall,
I mean,
for it to be, it's one of the oldest ships in their fleet. I think it was built in 1999. They did do a $100 million refurbishment on it, and it looks beautiful. They did a really good job. The ship looks really nice, but there's just some issues with, and you have to bear in mind and keep in mind too that if you're going on a port intensive trip like this, where basically every day you're in port, if you're a person who likes the casino, you are not going to be able to enjoy the casino much at all, because you're always going to be in a port and the casino is going to be closed. So for most of this 11-day cruise, the casino has been closed. There's only been a few days that the casino's been open and that you've been able to actually use the casino. So if you're a person who really enjoys spending time in the casino, you probably shouldn't pick a cruise like this where there's not very many, if any at all, days at sea, because that was kind of, because there's not really a lot to do because it is a smaller ship, and with the itinerary being so port intensive, I think the thought is that most of the time you're going to be off the ship anyway, so there's not really a lot going on. So at least the casino is a place where in the evening you can go and hang out, but it's not going to be open because you're going to be too close to the port you're selling into, and they can't open the casino.
Yeah, so that is kind of a bummer, but honestly, we aren't really big gamblers like that, so it really didn't affect us at all. But for the people who may want to stay on board the ship, maybe they've been here before and they just want to hang out on the ship and stuff, you can forget about it. Casino is closed.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I do want to say the food on Norwegian, we've been on Norwegian before, but the food on this particular cruise was good. I mean, the breakfast I wasn't happy with, but the majority of the cruise lines to me do a crappy breakfast. Eggs and stuff are just, it's horrible. But the lunch on this ship was good. Dinners were good. The local is a fabulous after hours place to eat on Norwegian. I mean, it's good. The menu is very limited, but it's good. The specialty restaurants on here were good. So overall, I'm happy. I'm very happy with how the cruise turned out. But like I said, we still have one more port. We'll be docking in Seoul, Korea
later
this afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon their time. So we're on our way there now, but it's still got a few hours, 4 or 5 hours before we get there. So anyway.
Yeah, but overall, it's been a really nice cruise. The entertainment, I think, is pretty good. I think Norwegian is really good on their entertainment. I've seen better entertainment.
I have to say, I think Royal Caribbean, hands down, provides the best entertainment.
Yeah, they do.
To me.
They do. But I think second would be Norwegian. And maybe Celebrity. We've only gone on one Celebrity cruise, and I heard Virgin's pretty good. But as far as the cruises that we've been on, I think Norwegian, as far as entertainment, comes in second. We saw a really good show called Blazing
Boots.
Blazing Boots, and it was
very good.
It was very well done.
It was.
We missed the show last night. It's called Ignite the something, but we didn't see that. But I heard that's an excellent show as well. But we missed that show.
But what one thing you have to keep in mind though, this is a smaller ship. Royal Caribbean, they're mega ships, those big, huge ships. They have ice skating rinks on board. They have go-karts. I mean, there's a lot more to do. And as far as the entertainment goes, they'll do an ice capade show for you on ice. And you don't get that on any other cruise line that I know of, but Royal Caribbean. Mm-hmm. But Norwegian it's good. For what it is, they have decent shows.
And they have mega ships too.
Yeah, they do. But I tell you what, me and my wife go back and forth on this. I like magic shows, right? I love magician shows, but I like certain type of magician shows, right? I hate cards, and the majority of the magicians on these cruise ships, this one as well, they do card tricks. I'm not big on card tricks, you know what I mean? I'm more into the let's saw somebody in half, let's see somebody levitate, a head here, legs there. That's the kind of magician stuff I like. But I know on a cruise ship you can only do so much. So I kind of shut down doing the magic shows, because a lot of it is just, to me, hey, guess what I'm thinking? Or I'm going to write something over here, you tell me what I wrote on the paper. That kind of stuff doesn't do it for me, because to me it's just not true magic.
Yeah, I enjoyed the magician, and I disagree. I think there's lots of different magic tricks that fall under the magician category. It's not just, so I enjoyed it. I don't enjoy when it's all card tricks, but I do enjoy other different types of magic acts.
Now, what do you think about the drinks on the ship?
The drinks were okay. I had the banana rumble, which was it's a specialty drink, and it's very good. That's pretty much what I had the whole time. I normally get the mango meltdown, but I tried to steer away from that drink because it's very high in sugar. I mean, the banana rumble probably was high in sugar too, but it just wasn't one of those. The mango meltdown is one of those frozen, just really sweet drinks that I usually get. I might still get it once on this trip, just to get it one time, but that's usually my go-to. The other drinks that I really wanted, I really like mojitos, and the larger Norwegian ships have the sugarcane mojito bar, so they serve different varieties of mojitos. You can get like the guava, raspberry, you can get a watermelon mojito. This ship is very limited. The bartender told me they only make a plain mojito, period. That's all they do. So that was very disappointing, because I feel like if you're a bartender, you should be able to make more than just a plain mojito. So as far as the bar goes, don't expect, if you go on the larger Norwegian cruise ships and there's drinks that you like on those ships, don't expect on this smaller ship for them to be able to make those same drinks, because they have an extremely limited menu of bar drinks that they make on the ship.
Something else that just crossed my mind, the Wi-Fi package on this ship was expensive. We didn't do it because, on shorter cruises, I'll get the Wi-Fi if it's 5 days, 7 days, but on a cruise of this length, I just didn't think it was worth it. Plus, we had heard by other people that the Wi-Fi on the ship was kind of iffy.
Yes, spotty.
So we didn't do it, but my wife, Kim, got it today because it's the last day, so she wanted to check and see what was going on in the world, because believe me, you don't know nothing, because the TV stations and stuff are all Norwegian, and the few
Yeah.
movie. I mean, there's
And
no
you-
outside,
Yeah.
nothing.
And I wanted to check on our, our flights and everything. Now you can use the Wi-Fi when you get off the ship. So, I mean, that's always an option. You can go off the ship and they have generally an area where you can sit and use the free Wi-Fi and you can check all your emails and, your text messages and text your family members or whatever. But if you want to enjoy, being able to, you just, hop on and Google or whatever. Because another thing is they don't even have news channels on the TV. Like, you can't even check to see what's going on in the world. And some people may say, well, that's a great thing. Like, you should be glad to get away from that. But, we like to just at least check news for a little bit and see what's going on. But yeah, Norwegian doesn't offer any news channels or anything. No sports channels, no news channels.
I have to say, it's really, at least on this ship, it's horrible.
They only have four. They have 4 movie channels: drama, action, comedy, and family for kids. And they loop the same
movies
over and over. The same
over
like
again.
4 or 5 movies over and over and over and over and over again.
It's horrible.
So if you're a person who likes to sometimes chill out in your cabin and maybe watch some movies or whatever, you're going to be very limited in what you're able to look at. So just be, mindful of that. If you plan on getting a Wi-Fi package, and you want to pay the $40 per day, whatever.
$40 a day.
We have a 11-day cruise, so that would have been like almost $500 for Wi-Fi that they say is kind of
just
spotty.
weren't willing to pay it.
But if you're on a shorter cruise, because we have gotten the Wi-Fi on Norwegian before, but we were on a shorter cruise, and we brought our Fire Stick. You can just bring your Amazon Fire Stick, and then you'll be able to plug in and
that's
watch.
what we normally do.
And you'll be able to watch YouTube. You'll be able to look at Netflix and Hulu, look at all of your channels and stuff, and then it'll be fine, because we have cruised on Norwegian before and we purchased the Wi-Fi package but we had our Fire Stick, so we didn't realize that the channels that the channel selection sucked, because we weren't watching their channels. Because you're probably thinking like, well, haven't you cruised Norwegian before? You didn't know before that the channels. Well, no, because we had our Fire Stick and we were watching our own shows on the Fire Stick, so we had no idea.
Yeah.
But we know now for the future, when we do book the shorter cruises, that we definitely, when we're cruising Norwegian, we have to bring our Fire Stick, because they do not offer a good selection of movies to watch on the TV. And there's no, like I said, there's no news, there's no sports or any of that. It's just, they're movies, which aren't,
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
I mean, we've watched them all. They weren't bad movies.
No, they were decent movies.
But we've seen them all. We've been watching.
Listen, look, to show you. Okay, I gotta say it. I hope I don't get sued later by Warner Brothers or something. But it was so bad. Barbie's on. Remember the movie Barbie? We're watching that for 20, 30 minutes. I mean, it's the movie selection is horrible.
And some of you probably like Barbie, so
trust me,
that's subjective.
Man, no, the wife. Okay, let me rephrase it, because I don't want people to think the wrong thing. The wife had Barbie on, so I just happened to be, what are you watching? Oh, Barbie, But I said I could only tolerate it for 10, 15 minutes. We had to change it to something that we've already seen 100 times. The best movie I think that they're showing is the new Top Gun movie. Maverick. That's an excellent movie. And then they have they're showing the Endgame Marvel movies. Yeah. Those are excellent. But other than that, that's it.
But most of these movies, they're not new movies.
They're old movies.
So most people will have seen those movies already. If you're a Marvel fan, you've already seen Avengers. They're not new movies.
No.
So they're going to be movies that most likely you've seen already.
Yeah.
But the cruise itself is a wonderful. If you want to do a Japan Asia itinerary and you really want to do a cruise to Japan, it's
and if you don't mind a port intensive cruise every day, you're somewhere. So
yeah, but you do get to see a lot of Japan.
You see a lot.
You will see a lot of Japan, and as far as that goes, I think Norwegian did a good job. We're in port every day.
But one thing I want to point out, though, not to be cutting you off, but it just caused, while I'm thinking about it, when you book your cruises, it's something that we honestly never did in the past. You just book it, and this is where it's going, and you go with it. But you need to check and see how long you stay in each port. Like it should say, right? Like we're gonna land, because one or two of these ports,
you arrive at 7 a.m.
We didn't have a lot of time.
You leave at 4 p.m. Sometimes you might look, and it's like you arrive at 9 a.m. and you leave at 6 p.m. Or in our case, yesterday we arrived at 7 a.m. but we left at 1 o'clock.
But here's the thing: they were calling due to the immigration process. They were allowing certain levels of people off the ship certain decks. We just happened to be on the first deck that they allowed off the ship. But the higher decks, like say deck 12, for example, they couldn't get off the ship until like 10:30, and we had to be back on the ship by 1:30. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that to say you might want to make sure you get enough time and off.
Yeah, or what you should, the best thing to do if you want to, is that in ports like that where you only have 5 or 6 hours, it's best to book an excursion. Yes. Because then you're guaranteed that the ship's going to take you out, they're going to get you back on time, and you don't have to be stressed out because you only have a few hours to try to run around and take public transportation and get to where you need to get back. On those days, if we had really paid attention to that, we would have booked an excursion
on that day
for that day, so that we wouldn't.
Because what ended up happening, we got off the ship, we jumped on some subways, we made it to what we did what we wanted to do, but I mean it was just really stressful because we're rushing, trying to make sure we get back. But like Kim said, if you do an excursion, there's no worries. Your day is taken, they're going to take you off the ship, get you back, But we're saying that because it was a short period of time that you could be off the ship. When you're getting off the ship at 7:30 and you don't have to be back on until 6:30, then that's altogether different. You have time to do your own thing and whatever. But,
and it's a huge difference when you're in a country where you don't speak the language.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in the Bahamas or something and you can just get off and the beach is right there and you can just, walk to the beach and everybody speaks the language, and, on those Caribbean, trips.
Or even like in Mexico, they pretty much speak the language, so you can, but I'm telling you, in Japan and Korea, if you don't know the language, I mean, you're kind of like...
And honestly, the Japanese people did a good job. And honestly, most of them can speak a little bit of English, and they do go out of their way to try and help you. I can't say that about Japan, and that's one of the reasons why I love Japan, and I definitely want to return. We're already planning our next trip back here. So that the Japanese people, part of the reason people love Japan so much is not so much, although the country's beautiful, it's the people. The people are as beautiful as the actual country of Japan. They are so friendly, so polite, it's so clean.
I've never been any place where the people are just so kind. Get on a subway, people, they may look at you and smile and you don't hear a pin drop. Everybody they're so respectful. It's just amazing to me. It's just hard to believe that in this day and time, with everything that goes on, whatever, there's a place you can go to where everybody is just respectful of each other. It's amazing. And clean and just, it's really amazing.
Yeah, so we definitely plan on going back and spending more time in Tokyo because we went to all of the other major, popular cities around Japan. We covered a lot of ground. We missed our one stop in Beppu, which I'm really disappointed because
it's too windy.
Because that, they have the hot springs and they call it the hell springs or whatever. And we really were looking forward to that, and we had to miss that port. But we really covered a lot, and we covered South Korea, which we're in South Korea now. So we had a wonderful time. It was a wonderful cruise. There are other cruise lines that do this itinerary. I think Princess and Celebrity do it as well. But speaking from a Norwegian standpoint, we had a wonderful time.
Thumbs up to Norwegian. Like I said, there's things they could improve on. But what I want to say is, if you have any thoughts of visiting Japan, do it, because it's just a beautiful place. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this is going to be a very memorable trip for us. We were just in Europe 7 months ago, and I thought that was an amazing trip. And it was. We went to Greece and everything, but this is just totally different. Asia, just being on this continent of Asia, it's totally different. So it's hard to compare the two, but we really enjoyed it, and a lot of it was because of the people in Japan.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna.
And the food is amazing. We never had one bad meal in Japan.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna do it again. We may just fly back to Tokyo, stay in Tokyo for a week, and just do some of the things we didn't get a chance to do. Or we may do another cruise.
Yeah, with different itinerary.
With different itineraries.
Yeah, because there
But
are
we're
different places. Yeah, there are different ports that we didn't visit that on a different itinerary we would go to in Japan. So, yeah, there's lots of options for cruising. And we were very hesitant on the cruise. We didn't know how we would like it because so many people do land trips to Japan. And so I'm glad we did it. And I would recommend anyone who is kind of like on the fence, like, should I do a cruise? Am I really going to enjoy myself?
I would say a cruise before you just fly here, because at least you have you know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of the stress is taken away because you're staying on a cruise ship. You don't have to worry about, what we're going to do. You're on a cruise ship. Just get off, get back on. But anyway, let me point this out. If the next time we go to Japan, I told Kim that I'm going to buy a translator. Something that you can speak into and it translates it to Japan or wherever you are, because it just makes it so much easier to communicate, I think. Now, we didn't have that, so we're talking in English and pointing at pictures and whatever. It worked, but I'm just saying, have a translator. It would make it so much easier. And the next time we show up, I'm going to have one.
Yeah,
I'm going to have one.
And when you get to the airport, make sure you get a Suica card. It's the transportation card if you're going to be taking any type of public transportation. That is very important to have. I put one on my phone, which if you have an iPhone, you can download the app for Suica on your phone before you even get to Japan, and you can load money on it. But if you have an Android phone, it won't allow you to download the app, so you have to purchase a Suica card you can either get it from the train station or you can just get it at the airport. I didn't see where you could buy a Suica card in the train station, so it's best to just get it when you land at the Haneda airport. They have a machine just dedicated. It's called Welcome Suica or something like that for visitors. And just buy that card, and it will save you a lot of time from having to buy tickets in the train stations and stuff. You will just be able to just swipe your phone, swipe your card, when you're entering the train station terminals. So that is something that I think definitely is, make sure you do that.
And I was going to say, most of the places that we visited, the stores, restaurants, whatever, most of them took credit cards, which was kind of nice. But it's always nice to have currency. So, you may want to just get yourself $50 maybe in current Japanese currency, just in case you pass a little street vendor and they only take cash. So, but most of the places we visited took credit cards, taxis took credit cards.
The taxis took it, most of the stores.
The buses, I think, took credit cards. So. But it's still nice to have a little currency.
Yeah, because some of the little ramen shops, some of the little places, all the ramen shops we went to actually they had the little touch screens where you ordered your ramen and then you paid at the end with the credit card. But you will need some of the yen currency. So just at the airport, once again, they have an ATM machine there. You can get it out there, or all the 7-Elevens, which I'm sure you'll be going into a 7-Eleven or a Lawson to try their,
you'll be amazed at what the 7-Eleven,
the sandwiches or the pancakes. I still have the pancakes with the syrup and the butter. I haven't even tried it yet. I'll probably try it later tonight. But yeah, they have ATM machines in there too, so you can always use those and get out Japanese currency. So. And
another thing I want to say is that and just give yourself time, like especially if you're on a cruise, right? Get off as early as you can. Really, get off as early as you can, especially if you're not doing excursions. If you're going to try to do things on your own, just give yourself time. Because talking from experience, when you get out there on the subways and stuff, you're going to get turned around a little bit. And that takes time to correct. Like, okay, wow. So just give yourself time. Don't get off the ship with only, a couple hours to come back on and try to do something that's, too far away and get left. You know what I mean? So just give yourself time, and just relax. Pay attention to what you're doing and whatever. But just give yourself time on a cruise. Now, if you're staying in a hotel, then do what you want to do.
Yeah, on a cruise
ship, give yourself time.
Yeah, get off as soon as you can, and don't, or take a taxi. Sometimes the taxis are,
exactly
they're lifesavers. If you're somewhere far away and you're worried that you're not going to make it back to the ship in time, and you don't really know how to navigate get a taxi.
Yeah, that's right. That's another. Yeah, taxis work great.
Yeah.
But there's still the communication issue, and another thing. Try to, when you go into port, when you get off the ship, and say you take a shuttle bus somewhere, and the shuttle bus is going to pick you up, document where you are. Take a picture of it, the number, whatever. It just helps when you're.
Well, honestly, even taking a picture, because we did that, what you really need, you have to have the physical address of the spot.
Get a card. When you get off the ship and you go to a terminal, the pickup point, whatever, or the bus, ask for a business card. Yeah,
you always need the address. Because if you're telling the taxi driver, just take me back to the port, cruise port, number one, they don't know you're speaking English. Unless you know how to say cruise port in Japanese, they don't know what you're talking about. And even if you tell them the cruise port, they don't know the address. They want the physical address. So just when you leave, get the physical address of the port.
Whatever they're passing out, get it.
Even if you think it's Hiroshima Port, they're going to know where that is. No. You need the physical, actual address of the port to hand to your taxi cab driver, because they will not have a clue as to what you're talking about.
Cover all your bases as far as addresses and stuff like that. So just get business cards wherever you go if you can. Ask for something with the address on it, so you can just show it to the taxi guy and say, this is where I need to go. And
or before you leave, we just found out that actually on one of those channels where they have all the Norwegian information, they have one for each port. And so when you arrive in the port, if you look at that channel that shows you the port and the activities, the different places you can go in that port, it gives you the physical address of the port that you're in. So just take a snapshot with your cell phone of that. We found out towards the end of the cruise, but just take an actual snapshot of that, because it has the address, it has it in English, and underneath it has it in Korean or Japanese, so that the taxi driver can understand it, because it's in his language, the address. So that's another pro tip to just let you know, so you don't make the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, and another thing I think you might want to consider or remember, if you're doing any excursions that require, that require walking, make sure you have comfortable shoes, backpack with water, whatever. Because what happened with us, and when you book an excursion, try to find out what it entails, because we booked an e-bike excursion for 3 hours, and we're thinking
5 hours.
5 hours. We're thinking we're just riding around, stopping every now and then, riding. It wasn't like that. We rode to temples and shrines, and there were tons of walking upstairs.
Most of the hours of that trip were walking, not on a bike. We went to the bamboo forest, and there's lots of walking to us, and lots of walking to people in Japan. Is totally different. Yeah. They're in really good shape. They're used to walking. They're senior citizens, and they're flying up those steps at those temples and those castles and shrines and everything. And if you're out of shape and you don't exercise regularly, and I mean exercise strenuously, on a Stairmaster or whatever, you're going to be very wiped out, winded.
Yeah, just try to see if you can find out what the excursions consist of, because we really thought it was just an e-bike ride, and it turned out to be a lot more.
Which was good. We saw a lot. We went to a lot of different places, and they were really beautiful, and we saw a lot, and we went through the bamboo forest, and I don't regret any of it, but just know, it's just nice to know what you're in store for, because there's a lot of walking in Japan. All of these castles and that you are gonna want to go to, you're gonna go climb up to the top of that castle, and you're gonna climb up very steep steps, a lot of flights of stairs, and in socks on slippery would. So just keep that in mind. Just be,
And they're beautiful.
mindful.
The castles and temples are beautiful. So I mean, just
And come at a good time of the year. It's May. We came the end of May, early June. Weather perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. We got a couple of days of a little bit of rain, but overall, as you can see right now, it's beautiful. It's sunny. We're in Korea, and the weather is wonderful.
And if you come this time of year, I'm just saying, don't be deceived by how it looks in the morning, because a few times I look out the window, I'm like, man, it looks cloudy, it looks gloomy. I put on a jacket, which was fine. But 2 hours later, it's
like
I
this.
gotta take this jacket
It's
off.
like this.
Yeah.
I didn't get like that because
I
mean,
just don't like to be cold.
even at home, it's early morning burn off. It looks cold in the morning, but just check the weather, because the weather will tell you, and the ship will tell you that they'll tell you on the ship that what the weather's going to be the next day. But yeah, I would recommend not coming in the summer. They say it's super humid and unbearably hot. And then maybe the fall is probably a nice time. We're thinking about coming back in the fall.
You probably will.
And the weather is, a little bit cooler, but not cold yet. So, anyways, this video is getting really long, and we just wanted to hop on here and give you guys a kind of like a wrap up of our trip, because it's pretty much after tonight it's over. We'll be flying back to LA.
We will do another video on Seoul, South Korea, which is where we're going to be docking shortly.
Yeah, since we didn't get really much time in Busan, we just went to the Lot department store, which is amazing, but we
did souvenirs.
We only scratched the surface of that because we didn't have enough time. But the food, if you want to go somewhere and get some good food, all different cuisines, all different bakeries, you have to try the Lot.
The Overwhelming.
I think that's called Lot World in Seoul, but yeah, they have it I think there's one in Japan too, but it was really beautiful. We have a little bit of video on it because we kind of took a little clips of it, but it was really nice. But anyways, we're gonna hop off of here and prepare for our day in Seoul, Korea. But we just wanted to come on and let you guys know how it was going so far.
Be back.